PlayStation has officially announced that they are no longer making discs after 2028. How does that make you feel?
Yeah. Not great, to be honest, for the gaming industry. Feels like a huge step back in consumerism, and especially for collectors. Because how's trading gonna work? How are we?
Oh my god! Yeah.
How are the costs gonna be the same for the software? Because there's no physical thing.
There's a lot to talk about. We have a lot to get into here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you guys haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more gaming news and gaming information. I'm Super. I'm here with Screen Cheat.
What is up, gamers?
Today was a crazy day. They announced in the morning, I woke up to this news and I honestly thought it was one of these kind of fake leaks and fake hype things that people talk about. But officially, Sony said from their own mouths that they are no longer going to be making discs anymore after 2028. And I just thought maybe that was only for their games. Maybe it was only for PlayStation official games, But no, it seems to be all games. No more PlayStation physical games anymore.
Yeah, it's like the argument that they're bringing forward is because 80% of consumers buy the digital copy anyway. But at the same time, that's not taking into account the fact that some games are only available on digital. Not all games are available.
Yeah, you brought that point up before. Yeah.
I just want to see what their variables are for that statistic, because I feel like that's not completely accurate. I feel like the number's very different to what that is.
Surely.
It just hurts my collector soul, because you and I both are big disc guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it feels like we're sort of getting to the point where we're going to be strangled by these big watchdogs, especially for trading games and actually owning property, which is a big thing that's happened with Steam recently. Well, not recently, but a big thing with Steam in 2024. You were saying that they had to put in some legality on their purchases.
The whole gaming landscape has changed. Yeah, exactly right. Nowadays, we don't actually own games anyway, and I feel like people listening, if you've been paying attention to these kind of gaming news with, stop killing games and all of these movements lately to preserve games, it's only gotten worse and worse. We've seen Steam had to change their store page. You guys can see this right now. Whenever you buy a game, that you're actually only buying a license for these games, and it works exactly the same on all digital storefronts. You're buying a license. You don't actually own this game that you paid $80 for. And at any time, just like The Crew, Ubisoft made a racing game, The Crew, and if they wanted to shut it down, which one day they decided to shut it down so that they could promote the sequel, The Crew 2, and everyone who bought The Crew 1 just, tough shit, you don't get to play this anymore. That's where we're going to end up going, I think, if something doesn't change. And I don't see PlayStation stopping this, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just such a scary time,
but
to be a gaming fan.
I think there's a lot of doom and gloom already in the gaming discussion, RAM prices and stuff like that. But I also think that this is potentially an interesting conversation to have here. Is what can Xbox do in this scenario? Because to be honest, I don't have a lot of faith in Xbox, but they are the rival to PlayStation. They always have been. Nintendo's kind of off in their own world doing their own thing, but Xbox is pushing for their new console to come out. If rumors are true, the PS6 is going to come out next year. So I would assume that the Project Helix, which is the code name for the new Xbox system, that might be coming out next year too. And if rumors are to be believed, that's got Steam support in that Xbox console. So if Xbox is pushing back hard like they seem to be wanting to do here, I feel like they're in a unique position now because they're the underdogs. Sony's destroyed them this console generation. I think this could be the chance for Xbox to make a comeback.
Well, yeah, your PS3 did very poorly compared to the 360, but they when the Xbox One was released, we were talking about this, where they had some form of you couldn't trade your game to your mate.
I'm going to put that, I'm going to put that ad campaign on the video right now.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
PlayStation.
But yet, and Sony like changed their not changed their stance, but basically brought out a video saying, "Hey, this is how you trade with Sony."
Yep.
And they just handed the disc to the other
exactly right.
one of the other executives, which is so weird because now all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, well, we're not going to do that." So they've either got to come out with some way to tell us how to trade games, if they're still going to allow game trading between PlayStation users.
Yeah.
Like if they bring out a system where, say, you buy Wolverine on PS6 and you can't buy it on disc on PS6, but it's less price than what it would have been. Like it's a lower, so instead of $125, it's like $100.
Sure.
Right? And you can still trade that to your mate, like
sure,
in some way,
yeah.
or you can maybe the storefront will buy it back off you at half the price or something.
That's an interesting idea. Is if they're going to lower the prices to compensate for no disc, and honestly, I don't think they will. I think they're going to keep charging exactly what they were. If they're smart, they might do what Nintendo's done, which, I mean, Nintendo really, I think this is just like one of those fake things where we're happy for something that we really shouldn't be happy for with Nintendo. Like, they've made their physical editions $10 more expensive than the digital. I don't know if that means that they've taken $10 off the original price, or if that just means they've made physical games $10 more expensive. I'm not sure, but Nintendo does do a separate price for physical and digital, which I think is good. I think if we're doing digitals, they should be cheaper. You do miss out on the production costs and making discs. I can imagine that it is probably a good idea for Sony to do this business-wise, but it's not consumer friendly at all.
No, it's kind of like a fuck you to the collectors out there that want those
100%.
Those physical, tangible discs. At the end of the day, like, if you don't like a game, you're gonna go to an EB Games, or if you've got a CX near a CEX, or any real
game,
like, even a cash
or whatever.
Converters. Yeah, anything, and you're gonna get rid of it because you didn't like it. So essentially what they're telling you is, oh, once you buy it, you made the choice to buy it. That's it.
Yeah, you can't get rid of it.
You're either stuck with it or you can somehow get a refund. But I know Sony's very particular about their refunds.
Yeah, I will give Sony credit. They do seem to give refunds for games that like don't work, or, you know, Concord and stuff people got refunds for. But to be honest, I think that's probably all just tax breaks. That's probably just Sony getting a kickback for doing that because it's a loss. But I'll give them credit for doing that. But they don't have a comprehensive refund thing like Steam. You can't even gift a game, as far as I understand, you know, via the PlayStation Store. You'd probably have to go and get a gift card or something like that. So
it makes it such more of an issue. Like, if I wanted to buy you Red Dead Redemption 3 for your birthday or something, I can't actually give that to you. I have to go and get a $150 gift card from EB Games
and give that to me.
Say, hey, you should buy this game.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's already a problem with Sony that I've run into, that exact problem. But it's only going to get worse now because you physically can't. As you said, some games are digital only, and you literally can't get them on disc anyway, like Helldivers or any of these, you know, Arc Raiders and stuff. So it kind of makes those digital only numbers a bit more inflated when you're counting in everything that's digital. That's
a great point, actually, because those are one of the larger games, at least for the last couple of years, is Helldivers 2, you know, Marathon even, and they're all digital only.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, if that counts towards this 80% overall gimmick, then of course it's going to be 80%, because these
most
large games,
digital.
Large mainstream games are only digital.
Yeah.
So if you remove those, the number's going to be way less. I'd be surprised if it was 50-50, to be honest.
Yeah.
Removing all these mainstream big games, especially, you know, with TikTok and stuff like that, these small games or games that probably regularly wouldn't have had as much attention as they have really take off something fierce.
Yeah.
and that's just the day and age we live in.
Look at Schedule 1. Schedule 1 sold millions of copies. Of course, it doesn't have a disc version. It's an indie game on Steam. So I think, how many people... I think the 80% figure is probably accurate for PlayStation, though, to be honest. I feel like enough people would buy those. Like Arc Raiders and Helldivers are both PlayStation games. They are on PC. Xbox only just got Helldivers. I don't think it has Arc Raiders. Maybe it does. I don't know.
Yeah, but if you remove... Because the only option with those games is digital. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that if they're doing a statistic on disc versus digital, they need to use games that are disc or digital copies and see what that variable is.
Yeah.
Because that's like saying, the average person drives a really nice sports car when they interview 100 people and 90 of those people are rich.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it seems like a very easily skewed statistic to go with.
Okay, but here's the thing now. If, let's be really, and we got to be really honest for this to work, do we really think, my pitch is that Xbox should focus heavily on this next console generation with physical releases? They should promote the hell out of the idea that they respect physical media. When you buy an Xbox game, you own it. You can lend it to your friends, you can whatever. Every Xbox comes with a disc drive, or it's very cheap to get the disc drive. I don't know, you know what I mean? Something like that. Would that really help them?
It honestly, for me, it would.
Would you buy an Xbox over a PlayStation 6?
Depending on the hardware, firstly. If the hardware were similar-ish, but Xbox had a disc, I would buy the Xbox.
Yeah.
I really would, because me personally, the ability to firstly buy a game, not like it, and then trade it to somebody.
Yeah.
Our generation
I agree.
grew up like that.
Yeah, definitely.
If Xbox really went balls to the wall and said, hey, console wars are back on, and got dirty with it, and were like, hey, we respect the consumer, unlike Sony.
Yeah.
And really got grimy with it, I would 100% be on board with Xbox. Even right now, they've changed a hell of a lot of their stuff. They doubled their price with the old CEO for their Game Pass, and they recently dropped the price again.
Yeah.
They've done a bunch of reforms. They've changed it from this is Xbox to just Xbox now. Back to their old ways, which is great. So I think Xbox are in the rebuilding era now.
Mm-hmm.
So if they've seen, if I was Xbox at least, if they've seen what PlayStation's done, they would go, all right, well, fuck you. This is going to be an easy sell.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Xbox, their next console reportedly having Steam integration as well, it really is a no-brainer for me. Because having access to my whole Steam library and access to physical media and Xbox libraries, potentially can be really good. I feel like that's the biggest red flag with Xbox, is I can't really trust them to put out great first party games. But you know what? I can say the same thing for PlayStation now. I feel like what great first party games has PlayStation put out for the PS5 that you couldn't get anywhere else? Everything's eventually come to Steam. Like God of War's on Steam, Death Stranding's on Steam, Helldivers is on Steam, and now on Xbox. Like
your Spider-Man games are on Steam.
Spider-Man's on
well.
Steam. I think Wolverine's not going to Steam, but I've already got a PlayStation 5. I think PlayStation 5 might be the last Sony console I buy. That's
definitely it's really feeling like that, because like you said, they with PlayStation producing stuff that goes on PC, it usually comes later, but they haven't really brought any games of late that I really care enough about to not have to wait for.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even Wolverine, as great as it looks, I don't need to get it day one. I'm not I'm not that much of a Wolverine guy that I would want to get
Sure.
it day one.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wouldn't bother me if I waited 12 months before it came out on PC.
Yeah, exactly. If that doesn't come out on PC though, if that's one of the, if you know, they start canceling that cross-brand games, would that change your perspective? Yeah, like you're not going to get it on Steam.
If we're talking about specifically Wolverine, it's not something that I would really worry about too much.
Yeah.
It'd have to be something like groundbreaking or some sort of amazing game.
Yeah.
For me to really sit and think, oh shit, maybe I should have got a PlayStation 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if GTA 6, right, for some reason was only on PlayStation 6, a game like that would get me to buy it.
Of course.
On those
Yeah.
consoles.
That would work. Yeah.
That would work. But a game like Overwatch 3, let's say,
Sure.
only available on PS6.
Don't care. Helldivers 3. Nah.
Helldivers 3, like as fun as Helldivers 2 was, we played it for what, 4 months, 3 months?
For sure.
It's a fun game, but it's not worth buying a whole console for.
Definitely not.
A game like Crimson Desert, though, might get me. That's sort of on the cusp.
Sure. Yeah. But that's a great example of a fully, you know, a game that is on all consoles basically pretty successfully, except for say Nintendo, you know.
Yeah.
GTA is an interesting point, actually. The GTA argument with Xbox and PlayStation right now is pretty fascinating because PlayStation has an in with Rockstar, and they are pushing for PlayStation to be the home of GTA 6. They're claiming that GTA 6 plays best on PlayStation, which I actually believe it probably does, compared to Xbox. And I
believe that it would for a PS5 Pro.
Yeah. I feel like the PS5 is better than the Xbox One X, isn't it?
I don't really know. I haven't actually done too much with an X. I know we definitely, when I was working at a game company for a while, or like a game hardware company. I know for a fact we had more PlayStations in stock than we did Xbox Series X's.
Yeah.
People trading them in.
Yeah.
But that could also mean that more people just bought PS5.
That's 100% true, yeah. Heaps of people
So,
bought the PS5 compared to the Xboxes.
That's right. I feel the PS5 is definitely more optimized than what an Xbox is. Like they are smoother for sure. So I could definitely see that it plays better.
Yep. I think the problem with Xbox is they've pushed too hard for cloud gaming, and Game Pass is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not enough to save your entire console.
Especially at the price they're at now.
Well, you know, you said to me off screen that places like, you know, we're here in Australia and other countries around the world that don't have great internet, I can't even do cloud gaming really. So that's a whole section of their model that's locked off to me because I physically can't do it. It just doesn't work. So that to me is a huge missed point there. And another point towards physical media being great. You know, why do we need to rely on patchy internet when we can just put a disc in or a USB or whatever it is and play the fucking game?
Yeah.
Especially with single player games, man.
Friends and just
it's one thing for Fortnite to be online, you know. It's one thing for these always online games to be online. That's fine. But like for me to have to be online to play God of War or even GTA 6, they're doing it too. And granted, they're doing it for their own reasons, but it's not the same thing as the publisher, the whole console going, hey, yo, you like physical media? Suck my dick.
Yeah, it definitely feels like a fuck you to the people that really can't afford to have that kind of internet. And like, gone are the days where you can really walk into a storefront and just browse. You know, you just sit there and you browse along and you go, oh, this game looks cool. This game looks fun.
I think
Whereas
that's...
now you just sit in your living room and you watch a trailer.
Yeah.
The trailer only shows you the best bits. It doesn't show you what the actual game's like.
100%.
You can't sit and talk to a guy that's played the game, or you can't sit and and see someone and be like, "Hey, is this game any good?" Unless you call a friend that happens to have played it.
Yeah. Nah, I think we still have that for a little while. I think we do. I still walk into an EB Games and have a look around and, enjoy seeing what's on sale and looking at different consoles games and stuff. But if PlayStation is getting rid of physical media, I don't think that means they're getting rid of boxes. I don't think that's what that means. I think that just means no discs in the boxes. It's just a download code, right? So they're still producing boxes to put on the shelves, but they're like a game key card like Nintendo does. But at least they give you a chip. Nintendo gives you a chip that gives you the download code. So you still have something to put into your console. I don't know.
Yeah, look. I'm a big believer in discs only. Even like I'll put my hand up. I did pre-order GTA 6, regardless of if it had a disc or not.
Of course.
But I feel like GTA 6 is a different animal.
It is.
Like it's just something that's completely different.
Yep.
Like I wouldn't, if I knew that like the new Assassin's Creed was coming out and didn't have a disc, I wouldn't have pre-ordered it physically. I would have just bought it on the online store.
Sure.
But GTA is like it's just a different animal.
Yeah, you wouldn't pre-order a digital game sort of thing.
No, I wouldn't. I would just wait for it to come out because then you don't have to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand.
But it also
like
means that
you go. Oh, haha.
Aha.
I was going to say I can understand pre-loading a game, that you're super keen for that's coming out, and you buy it the day before and you preload it or something. Like I can get that. But
well, that's what I was leading to with my next statement is that the only way I could see it working is if they allow preloading, which they don't always do.
Yep.
GTA is a bit of an outlier in that front. Like I can't remember a game ever allowing 7 whole days to preload.
Mm. Yeah, usually when they do that, bad shit happens.
Yeah, well, the way that it's going now is the average game is 100 gig when it used to be 10.
Yes.
In the last 10 years, which is a gig a year is pretty crazy. And GTA is rumored to be 350 gigs. So if games that big, like other games, something's gonna have to come out to try and compete with it, which no one will ever be able to.
No.
But someone's gonna try, and it'll probably be around that 250. Like even Call of Duty right now is probably 300 gig.
Probably
the way that they do the download.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's bringing up so many questions where Sony's going to have to implement, we're going to have to do preloading. We're going to have to try and figure out a way, because I'm not sure what the consumer laws are, but you should be able to sell things that you buy.
Yeah.
Even if they're like, it's
a digital thing.
Own the...
That's the problem. Yeah, because right now under the law, as far as it seems to be, you don't actually have the right of anything to resell. It's just the digital license. It's like, I don't know. I don't even know of a comparison. Because it's like you buy a movie online. I guess maybe that's what it is, because you can't really refund that, can you?
No. But they give you at least the option to rent it for a far less fee.
Well, funnily enough, you say that. That actually is a thing already right now, because there are fully official ways for you to rent your new Xbox or rent your new PlayStation and pay it off in installments. So they are literally financing video games. And to another point of you said off screen of how expensive, us getting priced out of the game industry. That's another point to that, dude. The PS6 is going to be like $2,000 and you're going to have to pay it off in installments over the course of 2 years. Like it's a fucking car or something. It's like,
Yeah. Like PCs, right? The average PC, yours and mine are probably a couple of grand each, right?
Yeah.
But they're pretty top spec. They're good enough to do everything over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
A console is a bit different. A console will last 10 years, but they're designed, they were designed to be like the budget friendly.
That's
gimmick.
right.
That's what the whole point was. Like even the DS when it first came out was $150 or $200, whatever it was, which was reasonable for its time. And that was like one of the first like proper, everyone had one.
Yeah.
handheld, besides obviously the Game Boy beforehand.
For sure.
But it's just, yeah, it feels like the corporate world doesn't give a shit about the average Joes that play games, which I feel like is the majority of gamers are, average people, not the influencers, the Twitch streamers, the rich and famous,
The whales.
The whales, that's right.
Yeah, I think you're 100% on the money there.
When we say whale, we don't mean fat people. We are referencing people that just buy either the same game over and over again on different consoles, or everything that game has to offer, and so on and so forth.
Spending hundreds or thousands of dollars in microtransactions on games. You just have to look at Star Citizen as a great example of a good whale game.
Star Citizen is so interesting because they've spent just as much money as GTA 6 has, and the game is still in development.
And it will never be as big as GTA.
No. The thing is with Star Citizen is it's a hyper-realistic space sim, I guess.
Yeah.
The way you'd call
for
it.
sure.
For those of you who don't know what Star Citizen is, we had a good decent run in Star Citizen way back when, and it was fun, but it's not like GTA 6 level fun. It's like you get in the ship, you gotta eat and drink, you gotta go to planets and stuff. You use real money or in credits to buy better ships, upgrades, fuel, that kind of shit. It's very intuitive. And what they did is they took real architects and real engineers to design everything so it would be legitimate. Like if they had access to space travel, that's how it would look. And that's why it's so expensive.
Yeah, the budget's blown.
Yeah, it's like $3 billion, I think, is what they've spent on it.
Yeah, so and that's a big problem too with the games industry, is how much money everything costs to make. We're starting to see that get pulled back now because things like GTA with their multi-billion dollars and Star Citizen. But Star Citizen's an interesting example because it's mostly crowdfunded. Doesn't seem to have a big producer attached to it where, Rockstar has to make back billions on GTA 6 to keep their investors happy, to keep their company producing them happy. So they have a lot riding on this.
You say that, but they made their budget back in just pre-orders already.
Yes, they made their budget back. I agree, and to us, that's great. To the normal person, that's awesome. But they also lost. I can't exactly remember how many, but I think they lost $1 billion or something in their stock price the day the pre-orders went live because they chose to put them for $80 US for the base price and not $100. Investors in Rockstar were demanding, the banks of America were demanding that Rockstar and Take-Two make GTA 6 $100 base price for the games industry to set the standard for more expensive games.
And you know what? They did the right thing by putting it at $80. They did the wrong thing by locking a bunch of items behind a paywall.
Behind the $100, yeah.
Like I don't really care. We'll talk about this off screen. I don't really care about things like clothing or certain weapons or certain vehicles or whatever. I care about the quests and shop fronts and stuff that they've locked behind it, because there's certain quests, like for example, there's a retro guy that you can restore old cars with, and that's only accessible through a quest that you get from only having the Ultimate Edition, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, 100%. And like raiding certain gang hideouts or something. I can't exactly remember. I think a celebrity is attached to one of those.
Yeah, it's like not Lil Yachty, but it's someone.
Yeah,
it's
some American celebrity.
Yeah, but I assume that's not the only raid thing. Well, I'd hope so. I assume that's just one of them.
One of many.
Like a high payout one, maybe.
Yeah, you would hope so. I will change my tune and I'll make another video and totally walk that part of this discussion back, because if the game comes out and there's hundreds of shops and the ones that are in behind the Ultimate are really just sort of reskins of ones that you can already do, I think I'd walk it back then. But at the moment it seems super shady, super predatory, and everyone says they have to make back their billions, and I understand, and as you just said, Screen Cheat, they have made back a lot of money already just on pre-orders alone. And I think everybody has to be really stupid to think that this game will not succeed. It could be the worst GTA of all time, and it will still be the best-selling GTA of all time.
Well, yeah, like it's the fact that they've made the budget back already on like I think it was the 4th day of pre-orders or 3rd day of pre-orders. They made it back. So now everything moving forward is technically profit because they've already made their costs back.
Yeah.
So for the next 10 years or 12 or 15 years, it's only profit. And that's like when they release online and they release like in-app purchases.
Yeah,
and all that kind of shit.
Exactly right.
That's all profit forever.
It's only up from here.
Exactly. So it's pretty wild that argument's being made still because they've already made the budget back.
Yeah.
And everyone knew it was going to happen. Even if they priced the game at $50, they still would have made their budget back on day one.
100%. Yeah, they could have sold that game dirt cheap and still made an insane amount of money. It's look at Silksong. A great example. A friend of mine yesterday, I was having this conversation with, and they mentioned Silksong, a game that came out and broke online shop fronts when that game came out because of people downloading it so much, and it was sold for $25 Australian. I think it was 15 or 20 US or whatever it was. Dirt cheap for such a great game that was highly anticipated, and they could have sold it for $100 all day long. They could have sold Hollow Knight Silksong for $50 or $80, and people would have bought it. I don't think as many people would have bought it, but they would have still made plenty of money off all those those sales. They might not have sold as many, but they'll sell them for more money. They'll still make plenty of money. But they actually put their players first. They know that positive PR from this is going to help them, and only help them. It can't hurt them.
That's a great way to put it, because I feel like executives in these big AAA companies don't care about the feedback. They only care about when it's being bought. So, like, once the game's bought, they feel like they don't care.
They don't care. That's exactly right.
I mean? So, like, if a game comes out and it's super hyped and everyone's like, Call of Duty is a great example for it. You see a Call of Duty trailer and it looks epic. The guns look amazing. Everything looks perfect. They do omnidirectional jumping and it looks great. Then you play it and you realize it's just the same thing reskinned with one new mechanic.
Yeah.
And you can't refund it because it's digital only.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it will be.
Yes.
Digital only.
Yeah.
You can't refund it, so you're lost forever. And that's all the executives are going to be thinking. They go, well, all we're going to do is hype it to the maximum, get people to buy it, so they'll never be able to refund it.
Yep.
Which is such a huge issue in the gaming industry, because, like, if you can't refund something that's terrible because you don't technically own it, what's the point of even buying a game anymore?
That's true. You might as well just watch a Let's Play or something, or,
Literally, you'll see, that's what'll happen. You'll see Twitch streamers skyrocket and YouTubers skyrocket because they'll take the risk and they'll buy the game and they'll never be able to refund it. But they might get, 100,000 views of all the people that either couldn't afford it or because they've been priced out.
Yeah.
Or didn't want to risk it because they don't know they won't be able to refund it. Like, gaming used to be fun and now it's a liability. That's how it feels.
Yep. It's a liability. It's a full-time job with live service games. Working so hard to just drain you of everything you've got, all your time, all your money. You can't, that's a good example, actually, is Sony. You mentioned Marathon. We talked about Arc Raiders and Helldivers, right? All three of those games are Sony games. All three are live service games. And all three demand, really, that you play that game and mainly that game. I think Helldivers is probably a good example of one you can jump in, jump out of. But if you really want to progress in those games and get the most out of them, you got to pump a lot of time into those games. It's kind of got to be the main game you're playing. Fortnite's another example. If you want to, get anything on your battle pass, you have to play that game only. Call of Duty, another one. So these companies that bring out these live service games, they just cannibalize the other games that they're producing because players are only playing their live service games. And if they're free or they're cheaper to buy into, they're probably not spending a whole lot of money on them too, for the most part.
Well, Fortnite's a great example because, Fortnite is a free game that was an offcut from an original game, which was Fortnite Save the World. For those of you that don't know what Fortnite Save the World is, it was essentially like a zombie defense game, I guess, where you would like build against wave-based zombies and stuff. And now it's obviously the Fortnite we know today, where people will spend thousands of dollars on every single skin that they get. There's something ridiculous, like I think 390 or 400 skins available.
Oh, I'd be surprised if it was not more than that.
$10.
Yeah.
Then you got variables and licensing and everything like that. Like, that game is massive.
Yeah.
But with Fortnite, at least, your progression feels great because you have, your XP boosts. You have like access to pretty healthy amount of XP per game. Whereas Helldivers, I always felt was extremely rigid,
stingy with how much it gave you. Yeah, I agree. Yep, I agree. And for a premium game, especially one that you pay your entry fee, which is fine, but then you only ever get one free war bond. That really pissed me off when we got no additional free war bonds. It was their battle passes, basically, for those who don't know. And it was just, keep spending money, keep giving us more money. The Halo one, fair enough, I'll buy that one. It's a Halo crossover. The Warhammer one, fair enough. These companies got to make money too, no worries. But, Helldivers is one of their most successful games ever. You can't throw the players who are supporting you a bone and give us some fucking free shit.
Yeah.
It is like stingy.
Game companies a lot these days don't give out free stuff anymore.
No.
Like, there's no, like... I remember Destiny, right? Destiny used to do a thing where on certain days or certain, like, events or something, like Easter, for example, you could get, like, a bunny emoji or something, or if you played on Christmas Day of GTA, everything would be snowy and you'd get, like, Santa would come along and drop, like, money to you or something like that.
Yeah.
So stuff like that's amazing. But a lot of companies don't do things like that anymore. They just... They'll, on Christmas, Call of Duty will release a skin that you can buy if you want to buy it.
Yeah, it's a Christmas skin. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Overwatch used to do a good one where when they had the loot boxes still, I think they have them now again. But the loot boxes would have all Christmas related stuff. And you could unlock loot boxes by just playing the game. You didn't have to buy them.
Yes.
Which is another great way to do it. Overwatch nowadays is a bit... Well, it's actually come back. It's much better than what it was. But it went very corporate for a long time and went really terrible. And now I can't remember if it's the original or something happened and the board members changed, and now it's gone back to like the original Overwatch where it was good.
Yeah, they did. The original developer left, the head of it, and he actually did a podcast where he talked about how Microsoft buying Activision was basically the death of that, and it was probably dying before that, but yeah. You'll see a lot of these, and you already have seen it, a lot of these studio heads or just seasoned game developers from all these AAA companies leaving so that they can make their own indie games because that market is so successful. That's another symptom of a terrible AAA industry is how great the indies are doing.
Yeah, well, look at Ubisoft. It's a great example of how dog water terrible they've been back to back since they changed from the original formula of Assassin's Creed and they went to that RPG style. I feel like that whole industry is just sort of tanked, that whole promotion. Of like transitioning from, you're an assassin, so you got to be stealthy, you got to stab people in the back, and now it's like, we're actually going to make this an RPG where you're a Spartan, and I love Spartans, but that game was terrible.
No, well, see, I think you're exactly right, but it's not so much now you're a Spartan. The problem with the modern AC games is now you're a god. Now you're a demigod, and every character is some descendant of a god. It's like in Odyssey, you're some Greek god, probably Odysseus, so who knows? But it would fit the name.
You are Odysseus, yes.
There you go. In Valhalla, you're Odin. It's, I don't know. In who knows, in Shadows, you're probably some Japanese god. It's like long gone are the days where you're just a cool assassin,
Yeah, it's like this is why Black Flag Resurgence or Resync, is going to have such an impact on Ubisoft, and like I've been saying this for years that Ubisoft's like one real bad game away from just giving it up.
From death.
They really are.
Yeah.
From death, they should be, because God, they have just copped loss after loss after loss, especially on all these AC games. Blizzard is up there too with a lot of their stuff.
They're lucky that they're being held on by that Microsoft life support.
Yeah, literally, because they would like Destiny 1 was incredible.
Nah, I disagree with you on that one, but that's all right. We can agree to disagree on that.
I love Destiny 1 so much. It was way better than Destiny 2. I had like 1,000 hours in Destiny 1.
I love that from you. Well, see, here we have a diverse, range of interests here. Screen Sheet is our Destiny fan, GTA, racing, I tried Destiny. And I really tried to like it, the first and the second one. You and me played a lot of Destiny 2. I don't know. The first one really, to me, just had nothing in it. And I know Peter Dinklage was the voice of the Ghost, and he was terrible. They ended up replacing him with Nolan North or whatever, who was just, I don't know, to go from Halo, and I was such a big Halo fan, to go from Halo with Bungie to Destiny just felt like such a drop backwards.
I get that for sure. Like, look, Destiny was my first experience with like for lack of a better word, an MMO.
Fair enough. Yep.
Destiny.
Yeah. Because
essentially it was a first-person MMO.
I reckon it's basically that.
Yeah. So when I played that, it was incredible, and I used to love, because I had a real good core group of friends that I would play with.
Yeah, that's probably the key.
Really held, like, I had 5 other people, so we had a group of 6, and we would always play together, and we'd do raids together, and we'd do everything together.
Yeah.
We were at a point where a new raid would come out, and we'd spend the night, like, we pull an all-nighter, all 6 of us, and we beat the raid that night, and we'd try and be the first ones to do it. We never were able to, but we'd try, and it was just so much fun to do that.
Yeah.
But I could totally see that Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, as a solo player, could be just atrocious, and I totally get that.
Yeah, that was probably my problem, not having a group of buds to play that with, and treating it like an MMO. That's probably my thing. I probably didn't treat it like an MMO. I was trying to treat it like a single player adventure shooter. But,
well, if you were trying to treat it like Halo, I could totally see why you didn't like it.
That's probably, I think you're on the money there. Yeah, Destiny's a funny game. It's funny because I had heard that Microsoft, the reason that they'd pumped the Game Pass prices up so much is because of how expensive their acquisition of Blizzard was, and how much money they were losing because of that, or more so how much they weren't making their money back very fast for those billions of dollars they spent on Activision Blizzard. So, blame them a little bit for that.
Yeah, for sure. But like all these big companies, surely it's going to get to a point where it's going to become like a monopoly, when all these companies just buying other companies, similar to how Disney's done it.
Yeah.
Where they now can't buy any more things because they're going to monopolize their industry.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So like, if Microsoft keeps buying up, they're going to get to a point where they're not going to be allowed to do anything anymore because they've just monopolized the whole industry.
They bought too much, yeah.
They bought too much.
I think what you might see if Xbox doesn't come back hard with this sort of revenge plot against PlayStation, I really think they could do something really special and bring themselves back into the fold as the top of gaming. At one point in time they were there. I think they can do that, but they're also deep in the most corporately greedy company, one of them, in Microsoft. And I also have heard that Microsoft's planning or thinking of trying to sell that Xbox, hence why they're pushing to make it cheaper, bring out Fable and make all future Xbox games after Fable, I'm pretty sure, are not going to be on PlayStation. So I've heard that they're doing all this to prep for a sale, and who knows how true that is, but crazy things have happened. You've seen it even in stuff like the WWE, where they bolster their finances and try to really show that they are on all cylinders, making so much money, they're so profitable, they are the best they've ever been, so someone should buy me now. And then, they do all that to facilitate the sale.
Yeah, well, look, if Xbox gets sold and someone other than a big, like, can you imagine if some group of, like, investors bought it instead of a corporation bought it, and they let it go back to its roots again, and it became ultra successful?
That would be awesome.
Imagine a world that would be amazing. I don't think it'll happen, but it would be an amazing, an amazing.
I'll tell you what I think would happen is Tencent, the Chinese corporation, buys up Xbox, and then it gets probably worse. Probably worse in terms of money situations, or I don't know. But it would have to be a multi-billion-dollar corporation to buy Xbox.
Yeah, well, Sony.
Oh god, that that would be a monopoly.
Imagine Sony buys Xbox and then kills it.
That would fully be a monopoly then. I think maybe not because of Nintendo. Maybe you could have a legal argument that it wouldn't be. But
what if Nintendo bought it?
That would be hilarious, but I can't imagine that. Fuck, that would be hilarious.
Disney could buy Xbox. They have the money for it, and it's a different field.
That's true. That's true.
So if Disney had the money and they went, all right, well, we're gonna make this like a pop culture extravaganza, and we're gonna take it back to retro, and we're gonna make it full backwards compatibility, and we're gonna do this.
Oh yeah, they ain't gonna do any of that, but that would be great. I don't trust them to do that for a second. Yeah,
I trust them to buy it over our Chinese overlords.
Yeah,
at least they'd have something involved in it.
Yeah, but I feel like at least Tencent actually make games. Seems to be their thing is games, but I don't know. It's such a weird world that we're living in right now that even is a potential that Xbox could be sold.
The big one I'd be afraid of is Sony. If Sony bought Xbox, there'd be no competition, and Sony could do what they want.
Yes,
because like as fun as a Switch is, it's not in competition with what a PlayStation 5 is.
For sure. Yeah, I think it could be. It just needs games to be supported really properly. Like, I reckon it's hard to say because playing something like Resident Evil 9 looks so great on the PlayStation 5. It needs to look pretty damn similar for it to be worthwhile getting it over, on the Switch compared to getting it on PlayStation. So you weigh in the handheld situation, and that does add to it. And honestly, I've told people that if you could only ever get one console, get a Switch. If you only want to get one, because you can have it handheld, you have access to most, third-party big games. If they're not on the Switch now, they're coming to the Switch too, and you're gonna get them. If you don't really care about getting new releases day one. You get Nintendo, which is great for families. The full Nintendo suite of games. So it's in the world where, and it's actually the cheaper console now. It's like the world where you can only buy one console because they're over $1,000. How is the Switch 2 cheaper than the PlayStation 5? The Switch 2 only just came out.
RAM shortages.
But that's crazy.
Sony stopped producing the base PS5 and was only producing the PS5 Pros and the PS5 Slims. Everyone started rebuying them again, so they had to spike the prices up because they couldn't afford the RAM anymore. Yeah. So now they went from $8.99 to $12.99 Australian.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Which is wild.
That's what I mean, bro. The Switch 2 just came out, and it's the cheapest console. So Nintendo has made their brand as being the affordable console. That's always been Nintendo's thing, to being the family-based console. And it's so funny to me that even in their newest generation, they are still the cheaper console. They were more expensive than the PS5 when they first came out, right? I think they were.
Yeah. So a PS5. When I was working at the game company, it was $650 for a PS5.
And that's pre-owned, right?
Pre-owned in good condition.
Yeah,
was $650. The Switch 2 was $750, I believe. Like brand new was $750.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite. Like pre-owned consoles are $890 now, or $900, whereas the Switch 2 is $650.
Yeah, wow.
So
that's crazy.
Pretty crazy. The thing is with the Switch 2 though, is it doesn't have the capability to play a GTA 6.
That's
so
the big.
If someone wanted like a big game like that,
okay,
then
I'm going to push back on that.
downside.
Actually, I'm going to push back on that because if the
you think it can run GTA 6?
Yes, if GTA 6 comes out on the Xbox Series X, that's great. That means it has to come to the Xbox Series S as well, which is as strong as a Switch 2. That's the two comparisons that they put into the Switch 2 and the Series S are like pretty close together, right? But Nintendo's got better proprietary tech that helps games run better on their systems. Apparently, they've got their own sort of gimmicks. But if GTA 6 can run on the Xbox Series S, then yes, it can run on the Switch too. No, I don't think that's a doubt. And I think if it comes down to an issue of storage space or anything like that, well, it's all digital anyway. You could make the argument that you would probably need your own SD card for the Switch too. You're probably going to need your own hard drive if it's 350 gigs anyway. You're probably going to need your own hard drive for the base PS5.
That's true.
So I think it could work.
With the Series S, though, I think it'll run like absolute dog water. I don't think it'll run smooth at all. I think you'll be able to play it, but it'll be similar to what Cyberpunk was like on the base PS4.
Yes and no. I think the game is not going to run at 60 frames per second unless you're playing it on I actually don't even know if you're going to get it at 60 FPS on the PlayStation Pro or the PS5 Pro. I think it's going to be 30 FPS until we get it on PC. And if that's the case, then it doesn't matter if it's 30 FPS anyway on PlayStation 5 or on Switch 2. Yeah, the lighting might not be as good, the resolution's not as good, but I don't know, you play it handheld and it runs at 30 FPS anyway, so I don't know. I think that could work.
I just don't know if it... Well, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I really am.
Whether or not it's the best console to play it on is a different question. I don't think it's the best console to play it on, but I think it's possible.
Well, hopefully we'll find out.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think...
Although, I think the minimum requirements for GTA 6 are pretty high spec, to be honest. Let's see if I can get it up.
We haven't got PC specs yet, but...
No, for like the PS5, what it was running at.
Right.
I can't remember if the trailer they released... It was on the PS5 Pro, everything was shot. I know that.
Okay. I have another idea, because if you look at Switch... right now you can buy certain Resident Evil games that are cloud versions, so they're played via streaming them online, right?
Right.
If GTA 6 is already a digital only game, you could stream it. You can stream it to your console, and that cuts through a lot of hardware limitations already. It's purely tied to your internet speed.
True. It
doesn't help me.
It does put stress on your bandwidth, though.
Sure.
So that'd only be accessible to people that have good internet.
Yep.
So it's really like it's up or down now.
Mm-hmm.
If that's where we're headed in gaming, and everything's just going to be streamed, and you have an unlock key, and everything's just streamed forever, people are going to be completely locked out when they can't access internet.
Yes. Yeah, I don't want it to go that way, and I don't think it will. I think there'll be a section of gamers who do have the means for that, and can stream their games, and they do, and they're happy to do that. But I don't think that's going to be the majority by any means. I think that the data centers and all of the tech required to stream games to millions and millions of people across the world in high fidelity is a lot.
Yeah, it would be. It'd be insane.
Yeah. I just don't think it's feasible long term.
Yeah.
If anything, I think what we'll see after GTA 6 comes out is we'll start to see them, all these companies scale back production of games. You start to see them be cheaply made, and getting bigger returns on smaller investments.
Well, I feel like GTA will set the standard, right? So anything that ever gets brought out at the same price as GTA will forever be compared to what GTA is.
Yes. Yeah, we talked about
And
this.
I think that'll be terrifying as an investor. To be like, oh shit, we're putting 30, 40 million into this thing. I know we need to price it at $80, but GTA is only an extra 20. And this is nowhere near $20 between.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
That game is
really
not
scary.
worth the same as GTA, but you know, look at Wolverine. Wolverine's charging the same price as GTA 5.
Wolverine
6, sorry.
base is charging more than what GTA 6 is.
There you go. So, it's
Which
it's
is
sort of
apparently is a bit of a huge backlash right now on Wolverine.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, why are you charging?
You think
the
you're
same
better
as a
than
war?
GTA 6? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what all
so-
that's the discussion to be had there is, you know, okay, you're charging the same price. Is your game worth the same? Really? You really telling me your game's worth the same as GTA 6?
Yeah.
So,
Which I think it's just such a big terrifying thing as a developer. It'd be like, shit, we've gone over budget. We have to charge this at, $120.
Yeah.
If we do that, we're going to be on GTA level, and we are not anywhere near GTA level.
yeah. Yeah. Look at
Like-
Mario Kart World charging 120 or whatever they did, you know.
Mate,
And
don't get me started on
that was
Nintendo.
backlash. There was heaps of backlash for that. And I think the only reason that it was not as bad as it could have been is because most people anyway got Mario Kart bundled in with the Switch in the early days. And that was me, you know. It was just packaged in, so I didn't pay $120 for it, and I wouldn't if that's how much it was. If I was going to buy Mario Kart World brand new, fuck that, I'm not paying that price. I've played it. It's, you know, and I like it. It's not worth that.
Yeah. Like the main comparison I make with the Mario Kart thing is Sonic Cross Worlds is a much better game and is $90.
Yes, it's cheaper. Yeah.
It has more characters, it has crossover characters, it has a more interesting layout of how
Yeah.
their races work.
Yes.
And like I understand, Mario Kart is the staple of Nintendo, or one of the big ones at least.
Yeah, it's their biggest seller.
Their golden moneymaker. They probably just went a little too greedy with it.
Definitely.
But like Nintendo has a habit of making these games over and over again and selling them at top price. But
For sure. Yep. And yeah, I would honestly, I would forgive the price tag if it was worth it, if the value was there, and the game just doesn't have it. The open world's cool enough to kind of drive around in, but there's nothing to do in it. If the game had a story mode and bosses and, let me get out of my cart and just run around. Like, I'm not expecting me to be able to punch people, but why not? Why not be able to throw a random punch? And it's so silly. It's just nothing. It's like one little animation. Let me run around and jump. Just cause, like Kirby Air Rider style. Get off my cart and run around. It's like such a simple thing that would really take such little resources. People might say, oh, there's so many animations required. Dude, they've got all of the animations for these characters across hundreds of games. They've got a huge bank of all these animations. Take them fucking 2 seconds to grab a bunch of them and reuse them to make this happen. So
yeah, it's like a 2K game. They're all just copy paste over and over and over again.
100%.
They've got everything backlogged already.
yeah, they'll tweak a few things and upgrade it. And I don't think that that's a bad way to do it. I think that's a smart development pipeline. But don't tell me that it takes too much work for them to do it. The game launch, we've had no support for the game. There's been no new tracks, no new anything. If this was like their game that was going to be supported all the time, it was like their Fortnite, I might be able to say, well, it's $120, but dude, it's a huge game that's been supported non-stop. There's heaps of content in it. I could see that, but you can't make that argument. You can for GTA because you're going to get the single player, you're going to get the online, you're going to get the years of content that's going to come with this game. It's a cultural event.
If you break it down, if it's $120, right? Well, actually, yeah, $120 for GTA.
For the Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, that's right. For the Big Boy Ultimate Edition. You divide that by 10 years, it's what, $12?
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And for a fact you're going to be playing this in 10 years because we played GTA 5 for 14.
Yeah, exactly.
13.
You know they'll support this longer than they supported GTA 5.
Yeah, it'll probably won't be another 15 years before
Yeah.
the next GTA, and that's okay as long as this game's good.
Yeah. They supported 5. They made 5 on the 360. They completely skipped the Xbox One generation in terms of a brand new GTA. They brought out the remade version or whatever, but they completely skipped the generation. We did get technically Red Dead on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, but right at the end. And then the PS5. So they seem to really trail to the end of the life cycle of a console, and it seems to work for them because then they can just bring it out on the next console with a couple of new little graphic features, and people buy it again.
Yep, that's it. But like at least when they brought it out on the new console, they added a first-person mode for the first time in GTA.
Yes.
Which is incredible.
And I loved that, and that was actually the reason I rebought that, because of that was the big reason
Same
that
as
made
me.
me do it. Yeah.
That and neons, they added neons to cars that you could put on. They added like all kinds of crazy customization shit.
Yeah.
But then halfway through the PS4 era, they sort of get way too arcadey with it.
Yes.
And to what we have today.
Yeah.
Now it's like you can get a railgun in from outer space to kill anyone on the map that you want.
Literally.
But that's just them, finding more ideas and new things to do. And
yeah, I think they
Which is all
realized
part
they went too far on that one with the interceptor flying motorcycle and missiles and shit.
yeah, they said there's not going to be any flying vehicles that are other than like helicopters and planes. There's no flying cars and no flying like bikes.
Yeah, no, they need to really lean into the realism. I think that's what made Red Dead so special, and they're in the position to make it realistic, and that is what will make GTA 6 special.
Yeah, but they need to make GTA Online less of a grind as what Red Dead Online was.
Yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, the Red Dead Online gold grind was fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like at least GTA 5, it was a grind, but it was fun. Like you do different missions, you do different things, you do car races or whatever, and make big money, which wasn't always the case. I remember when I first played GTA Online, when it first came out, you'd win $250 for a race if you came first.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, we'd race 10 dudes, and the first garage you could get to save cars was 25 grand.
Yeah, wow.
You had to do 2,005 or 2,500 or 10,000 races or something, 1,000 races.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But then they realized, oh shit, we're not giving people enough money. We have to fix this economy.
They also only have one currency in that game too. You just have cash.
That's correct.
In Red Dead, you have money, you have cash, and then you also have the gold bars, premium currency. Fuck premium currencies off, especially in these full price and these kind of games. Just piss them off. I think they waste my time. They don't feel satisfying to collect or spend. Let me just have heaps of cash and I'll pick where I spend it. If I want to buy my fucking houses, I'll spend a couple mil. It's like RuneScape. Classic RuneScape, man. It's all about the gold. GP is king. Gold pieces. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I agree. Singular currency is king, to be honest.
But GTA is going to be an interesting one. That's going to change the whole gaming landscape, bro.
It will. It's probably the first time in our lifetime, at least, that a huge next level thing is happening.
Yeah.
Well, VR was probably a big one. VR was probably a big one as well. When it first came out, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But that sort of died off because of lack of development. There was not many games coming out on VR.
And too expensive to get into.
That's correct.
Most people have a PlayStation or an Xbox or something that can play a video game. And even if they usually use it for their media, instead of gaming, they use it to watch Netflix or YouTube or something like that. They have it. They have something to play a game on. So
that's correct. Which may stop being the case if the PS6 is too overpriced.
Well, yeah, I think the overpricing situation will affect it way more than the lack of physical discs. to be honest.
Look, for me, I won't be buying a PS6. If the Xbox does take discs and is of decent capability,
Yeah.
I won't be buying a PS6.
Yeah.
That's going to be a fact.
Yeah.
But if the PS6 is more affordable, it could sway me. But I highly doubt it's going to be. I reckon it to be between $1,500 to $2,000 is what the new one will be.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, if RAM prices don't get better.
Which, I know that a lot of companies are copping fucking strays for having AI, which I think is great because I hate AI in the gaming industry. I like it for medial tasks,
Sure.
Organize this thing, give me points for this thing.
Yes.
That's fine. But high impact use of AI, like,
For
hey, make this game for me so I can sell it.
Yes.
Terrible.
I'm
not a fan.
Yeah, I
Use
agree.
it in placeholders. That's fine. Hey, can you simulate a player doing this in my game?
Yeah.
So that I know what to do if it happens.
Yeah.
And they do it, and you go, okay, this is how I can fix it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, it should be used as a tool for, as you say, menial things and organization and things like that. It's great for hole in one, but
hey, nice.
But yeah, I agree. Mass use of it is only a bad thing, and clearly it's only making things worse around the world with data centers and prices and something I wanted to talk to you about before. I forgot about it, but we were talking about the games industry and how the corporations and people with money have taken over the games industry. It's because it's probably the biggest industry in the world. Aside, I don't know, aside from like food or something,
5 or 6 years ago, it was the fastest growing industry in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's been insane how fast the gaming industry has gone, because our generation grew up with those, that golden era of games. Really, your StarFox 64s, your Army of Twos, the 40th Day,
dude,
SmackDown
for
vs.
sure.
Raw 2008.
Yeah.
Like,
Early
all
Halos.
those Early Halos.
And early
Need to
Call
Be
of Duty.
Underground.
Even early Call of Duty was a really consumer friendly.
Call of Duty, all the way up till, in my opinion, Black Ops 2 was incredible.
Yeah.
Like Modern Warfare 1 through 3, Black Ops 1 and 2. World at War was great. The zombies in those games were incredible.
Yeah. I even liked Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare, I enjoyed to a degree because it was new.
Yeah. It was the first time it was something that they did something like that. And
that's right. And then
it was
Black Ops
good.
2 came out and did
Black Ops 3. Yeah, Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3, sorry. Did it a lot better, I thought.
Yeah.
Black Ops 3 did the operator gimmick, which I wasn't a fan of.
That was that time of the world, the hero shooters.
Hero shooters, loot boxes.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think every company has, for the most part, all of these big companies have really let the industry down for short-term profits. And I think the reason that the big wigs and all the money makers have such a death grip on the industry is because we are such a big industry and we make so much money for these people because we are consumers. We want to consume. We want to play games. We want to have fun, and they know that, and so they manipulate that. And that's why paying with our wallet or voting with our wallet is so important. There's a reason that Modern Warfare and Call of Duty at the moment isn't doing well because people aren't buying their games. People, they'll always sell, but not to the level that they really want it to sell, and not to the level that Microsoft wants it to sell. So, and that's good. We shouldn't buy shit products, and that's the only way for these companies to know and for us to fight back against them is to not buy their shit.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Same as right now, I've got a big vendetta against 2K and what they've been doing to the wrestling games. They're just like, they haven't got my money for a few years now. We always wait until they come out eventually on PS Plus.
Yeah.
We play them there.
Yeah.
As fun as they are for a couple of weeks, and we just realize how much of a terrible platform it is. Really,
same shit over and over again.
Yeah, like they have a card game that's implemented into it as well. It's just all fucking
Yeah, too greedy, and it
Yeah,
pushes you away. It pushes fans away.
That's right, and it's just poorly optimized. Like, it's just terrible.
It's the Silk Song thing again. Like, think about the goodwill that you lose from doing these bad practices. You know, you might make a couple extra bucks per sale, but you don't sell as many, and people don't buy your product next time you make one because you've lost your goodwill. So you're really trading your long-term sales and goodwill for short-term profits. Look at someone like Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate. Come out of nowhere, you know, that they've got so much goodwill now that their next game is going to be huge. And Divinity was already big. Their initial games were big, but nothing like it will be now. And they could have done the route of make another Wizards of the Coast game and charge out the arse for it and go corporate and go dirty. They really could. They're in the position to make plenty of money doing it. But they didn't do that. And they've traded that short-term big profit for probably a lifetime, as long as they keep it up, of goodwill and money coming in on whatever they make. It's really not rocket science to me.
Yeah, I don't really get it at all, to be honest. I don't get how a game company can just completely disregard the future. Like, I'll probably never buy a 2K game again on release, ever. Ever.
It has to do a lot of work to get us to do it. I agree. It has to do a lot of heavy lifting to prove to me it's worth buying on, you know, when it comes out.
But Larian Studios releases Baldur's Gate 4.
Yeah.
Day one, I'll have that.
For sure. Even just their new game that's not D&D related, Divinity Original Sin, I'm going to buy that day one because I trust them. You know, you could even say the same thing for like, what is it? Gosh, we were playing it. It's like that turn-based game. God, people are going to hate me for this. Expedition 33.
Oh, yes.
Dude, the creators of that game, they have heaps of goodwill with, you know, with fans, and whatever they make next, people will eat up.
Absolutely.
Good luck selling me the next Ubisoft game. Good luck. You know, Black Flag Resynced is a remake. It looks good, but it's a remake, so... You know?
Yeah, look, I've pre-ordered that only because I fucking loved Black Flag when it came out. And it's you know, it's back to the original roots of what an Assassin's Creed game should be.
That's why it's different, though. Yeah, that's why it's different. You know, when they bring out their next original Assassin's Creed game, see if it has as much intrigue, you know?
Yeah.
People know that Ubisoft are shady, and they've been burned by Ubisoft before, so they don't really want to risk being burned again. That's just human nature.
Yeah, I agree. I'll never buy a Call of Duty on fucking release again. I'll never buy a 2K game on release unless they did heaps of work for it. Probably won't buy an Assassin's Creed on release if it's not a remake. There's plenty of these big corporations that have just done us dirty in the game industry, and I'm not having it. I'm just not having it.
Enough people are getting over it.
A big one that really hurts my soul because I fucking love this game so much.
Tell me.
The fact that it hasn't received the level of support that I wanted to is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, great point. Yeah.
That game, like, we went to uni together, and that game was sort of our lifeline as a group.
Definitely.
Just, you know, after being stressed out at uni, just talking shit in the rec room, playing Smash Bros. And fucking around.
Yeah. Yeah, that game
was
is
my
big.
entrance into proper fighting games. Really.
Yeah, for sure.
But like that game had its like character releases, and when was the last one? 3 years ago.
More,
you know?
Way more.
More.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was more than 3. Let me have a look. I'm gonna look that up. Smash.
I think the last one was the what's his name? Sora.
Yeah, Sora release date was 2021. So there you go.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. We've had nothing since. That game's, you know, hanging on by a thread for dear life.
Yeah. We play it regularly now, and we struggle to find other people just in like one-on-one, in tournaments. They're all bot filled now. And it really hurts my soul that an arcade game like that's been so fleshed out and is so loved by the community, not to be supported in the way that it should be.
Yeah.
Is insane.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that one actually has a couple of different symptoms to why that is the case. I think, Smash Bros. Was the best-selling fighting game of all time. Not the best-selling franchise, that's Street Fighter, but the best one-off selling fighting game ever was Smash Bros. Ultimate. And the fact that they, as you say, the fact that they haven't continued to support it is shocking to me, but I think it's probably because Sakurai's not involved right now. I think it's a similar situation to Sony and Bloodborne, why they haven't remade Bloodborne, because FromSoft wants to do it, and they respect FromSoft enough to not do it without them. I think that's the same thing with Smash. I think Nintendo obviously would love to have another Smash Bros. Out right now. I'm sure why wouldn't they? How could they not? But if Sakurai's not doing it, they're gonna wait. And I think that's for the worst, to be honest.
Yeah, look, I totally get why they would want to respect it, but surely Sakurai's got a second, similar to a Dragon Ball situation with Toriyama and I can't remember the other guy's name.
Toritaro or something like that? Yeah.
Toritaro,
something like that.
where he's taken over. Surely Sakurai's got, an apprentice or a second or something, someone that's capable enough to make a couple of characters and balance some things out in Smash Bros. Like we play, I play a character called Incineroar, and he is good on stage, but he's in diabolical need of some tweaking off stage, same as Ganondorf and a bunch of other characters are either too overpowered or not overpowered enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that game has received nothing in 5 years. Are you kidding?
Nothing. Yeah. And they still get, which is so funny to me, they still give you events. There are weekly or monthly events that still get updated on that game, but they're like spirit events or random sort of single player. Sometimes it's a tournament, but to be honest, it's really nothing, and I don't even know why they do it if there's no support for the game. Why do we keep getting these random little events? I don't understand it. That game needs a Switch 2 edition. That if any game needs a Switch 2 edition, it's Smash Bros.
Yeah, it's Smash Bros. As long as they give it to you if you're a Nintendo member for free.
Yeah.
As a free upgrade, or if it's priced at $25 and not $79 or $90 or something ridiculous.
It would only. I agree. We need to have an easy pathway to upgrading. Or a free, ideally, would be, they have done that with Zeldas and stuff like that, but, who knows if they would do it again. I think Sakurai, if he had any say in it, he would do it for free. But again, that's probably not up to him. But I think
they're going, we need money, please.
Yeah, more money for our theme parks.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need some more support for that, for sure. It's funny how these companies sort of starve us so that they can make big bang. That's one thing I will say about Nintendo, and I actually don't think it's as bad as I was initially thinking. They do starve you for content, but then usually they deliver. Smash Bros is a king franchise, and I'm very confident when the next one comes out, it's going to be amazing. You know what I mean?
Same you say that, but then like a game like the new Metroid, for example, came out.
Yep.
And that was, from what I hear, horrible.
It was not great. Yeah, I agree. I can't chalk that up to say that's, it's not Nintendo's fault because they have it was a different development team. It was a Nintendo project. They were overseeing it. They actually did pull the plug on it initially, and they sent them back to the drawing board. And so it's funny to me that it was delayed for so long to fix it, and it was still not great. But fair point.
I feel like Nintendo do definitely deliver, but not always, if you know what I mean.
For sure.
Like, Mario Kart's a great example as well.
Yep.
They could have done so much with it. They could have given you skins. They could have done, like, the new Donkey Kong had recently come out. They could have done something with that.
Yeah.
They could have introduced Sonic into it because they've already done that with Smash Bros. You know, there could have been a little crossover there. Like Mario goes over to Sonic Cross Worlds. Sonic goes over to Mario World. That would have been great.
Mario World, Mario Kart World should have been a crossover game. That it is ripe for that.
Yeah, literally.
That's what I thought it was going to be too. Yeah, no DK crossovers, no nothing yet. I fully expected to have that.
Yeah, I think Nintendo are good at delivering a product and then not supporting that product.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that StarFox gets a bit of support. It'd be fun to see what they can do with that, especially in the online dogfighting type gimmick.
Yeah. I'd like to see if they add anything to that. Part of me thinks they won't. I almost don't mind if they don't. If the leaks are true that we're getting another StarFox game next year.
Right.
That's the leaks. That this one is the traditional StarFox, and then we've got another one coming out next year that is much more like the Adventures game. So yeah, I wonder if that means grounded, exploration and combat and stuff like that. That would be really cool. Yeah, it's interesting to see that. StarFox is back. It's whether or not he'll stay back and Nintendo will keep him in the limelight. I think he's primed for that with the movie and now the game, and the game's been a big success. So yeah, that's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see more. I especially like the arcadey style flying shooting gimmick because it's been a while since we've had a decent game do that.
Yeah.
Besides, like, trying to think.
I can't.
The last flying game, maybe.
I'm sure they exist, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like. I mean, Sky is probably the last one.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, or GTA in your flying stuff as well, but like, there's no real dedicated.
Yeah, like War Thunders and shit, but like that's
like
not the same
sim
thing.
Style.
Yeah,
they're not arcadey. They're like full sim.
Yeah, I agree.
Proper.
Yeah. Now we need a bit of a return to that.
Yeah, I'd love like an arcade style Nintendo based game where it may not be a StarFox game, but StarFox is in it as a character or something.
Yeah,
and it's like an arcade style, Starfighter.
Yeah,
shooter game, which would be sick. Like full customization, custom character, custom plane.
That would be sick.
They move differently. Customization is key, especially in this era.
Yeah,
I feel like people don't want to be locked to a character as much anymore.
Yeah,
as much as fun as it is.
No, I agree.
Strong character, but games like Xenoverse 3 that's been announced, where you're playing as. Although I do have a bone to pick with Xenoverse.
Oh, please 3. Tell us! Come on, give it to us.
I don't like the fact that you become one of the Z fighters instead of just taking their moves. You turn into a Z fighter.
Yep.
That's your ability. You turn into Gohan or you turn into Piccolo.
I've heard that's optional.
That. I hope so.
Yeah, I've heard that's optional, and I agree that needs to be optional because I don't want that either.
No, I want to be a jacked Saiyan with one move from Frieza, one move from Lord Beerus, and 2 moves from Goku. That's
exactly right. I really like how you put Lord on his name. You put the respect on him.
Well, he is a Lord, firstly.
Yeah, that's right. Well, so is Frieza.
If I don't put Frieza can relax.
Relax.
He's short. He's shorter than me, so
yeah, true, fair. You can fight him.
Yep, that's right. Less respect to the short.
Yeah, fair.
I think Xenoverse 3 is going to be an interesting one. I'll buy it day one. I will, but I'm on the fence about it a little bit, just from that thing.
Yeah, that's a fair concern, and also I think a fair one to be hyped for in my mind. I think Xenoverse 2 was great. The argument can be made that Xenoverse 1 and 2 are basically the same game, and I agree with that. But there was also like a 1 year gap between those two. There's been a huge gap between Xenoverse 2 and 3. So I'm definitely on board with Xenoverse 3. I think, obviously, I'll wait and see what reviews say. And if for some reason, ungodly reason, it's bad, then yeah, I won't get on it. But I really want it to be good. I bought Dragon Ball Sparking Zero day one. I played the piss out of it, but that's a game that really doesn't have much staying power. It's the story mode is fun but limited. and
also highly technical.
It is.
Game.
It is very. It's way more complicated than your standard fighters or what you would expect from a 3D arena fighter like that. So it doesn't have the staying power. But if Xenoverse 3 can take the graphics and a lot of what Sparking Zero did well and bring that into that online environment, I'm so keen for that.
Yeah, I'm also keen for a potential Fighter Z game.
Yes.
I would love like a Fighter Super game.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Fighting Supers.
Super Fighters
or something.
That'd be sick.
Because they released I think it was their last ever update, they said.
Oh, yeah, we're getting Daima Goku Super Saiyan 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's... I don't know if that'll be the last, to be honest. Xenoverse 2 had its last DLC.
Oh, Xenoverse 2, sorry.
Yeah, that had this last, but... yeah, I'm hoping, to be honest, that we don't get more Fighter Z content and just give us a new game. Because the player base is fractured. Hardly anyone will come back for Daima Goku, I think. These online fighting games live and breathe by the player base. You need to have people to fight. We've seen that with Smash Bros, and that's at least one that has a very big single player and local multiplayer. But Dragon Ball FighterZ doesn't have that.
Yeah, it's true.
Even Marvel Tokkon, that's going to be interesting to see that come out this year and see how does that work, how much content's in that, because that's going to be a $120 game too.
Yep. Although that game's going to have it has an obscene amount of hype around it.
Oh, I'm keen. Don't get me wrong. I'm super keen for it. But if we're judging, games based on the GTA equivalent,
that's right.
We have to do it to the ones we have to do it to the ones we like as well. And I'm gonna get it. I'm a fighting game fan, and I think that's where you could argue that the replayability is in the fighting game replayability, the multiplayer of that. And if the fighting's good, then really a fighting game can live forever.
Yeah, the fighting does currently look really good. The only thing that I'm going to worry about with that is skins, stages, and characters. So if there's things to do other than just fighting people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see what the single player's like. I want to see if there is any other modes aside from just fighting. Like, a lot of fighting games have either some sort of lobby mode where you can run around in an area at the very least, or even a single player mode where it mechanically plays differently to just the fighting, whether or not that's World Tour mode letting you run around, or even something more simple, Fighter Z has a world map that you go around. So
yeah, I feel like it'll be sort of team based, because the way that they're announcing the characters is in teams of 4.
Yes.
Type thing. So I feel like the story mode, so to speak, will probably be some form of Doom and his group are the big bad guys, and you're trying to get everyone together to try and defeat them, and you'll play as a group of your team of 4 or team of 2 or whatever, and go through doing that, and then you might play as Doom at the end or something, or Doom partway through.
Yeah, well, as far as I know, you can mix and match your teams when you pick them, which I really like, and every team when you do that has its own name. So the normal team of the Avengers, the Mighty Avengers, or whatever they're fucking called. Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Miss Marvel. If you pick Captain America, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, and Magneto, it's a different name. And the announcer goes, you're introducing the blah, 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 blahs. I think that's cool. Awesome, and some people have said that the names are shit. They're not all going to be great, but the fact that they exist...
If there's 12 characters and you've got to make a name for every possible combination of those characters, that's a stupid amount of names.
It is a stupid amount of names.
Everyone needs to relax.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I love that.
It would be cool. It would be cool, just thinking about it, if you could have a custom preset and then choose the name for that custom preset.
That would be cool, yeah. Yeah.
So say your preset is Ghost Rider, Blade, Deadpool, and Captain America. And you customize, say it's the Underworld Soldiers or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's a pre-selected one that you can pick from.
Yes.
And then you can color them accordingly.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. If as long as the announcer says the name.
Bro, there's worms in this game too. What the fuck?
Worms in this game. There's worms in my ass. There's worms in the games industry. The world is fucked. This game's come so far.
Great. For those of you listening, and if you can't see it, we are playing golf with your friends because we're all friends.
Everyone's friends here.
Everyone's friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, damn, son, we've been talking for how long? 2 hours?
An hour and a half for this first pod.
Well, I think we're all talked out.
No, I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. And
great discussion. We'll be doing it again, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys have anything to add to what we've talked about, please let us know what you guys think. And we would love to hear from you guys. We reply to all the comments. And what do you think about the games industry? Do you think that Xbox has a chance to come back big? Does the idea of a PlayStation 6 without any physical media even bother you at all? Does it change what you think about how you play games? Does it even make you think differently about PlayStation at all? Or is it just something that you'll just deal with and it's pretty normal? Let me know what you guys think. And go and check out Stream Cheat. Go and check him out on YouTube and Twitch. And if you like the video, subscribe so you can see more.
Make sure you fucking comment, brother.
Comment. Good. Oh, we can fly with this. I see. All right.
Yes.
Love you guys a long time. Look after yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye-bye.